Hi, my name is Renée Lapino. I am a medical esthetician, a medical facialist, and I've been dubbed the London skin guru by my patients and followers. I want to welcome you to my channel. This is the first time I've ever done this, so you and I together will learn about skin and I will learn about YouTube along the way. Thank you for your patience, and of course, comment, send messages, let me know what you'd like to see more of, what you'd like to see less of, what I'm doing right, and what I'm doing maybe not so right. I wanted to come on here and tell you guys a little bit about me, why I'm in skincare, what drives me, what makes me excited, and how I can help you with your skin. So just kind of an introduction to Renée Lapino, if you would. I grew up with really reactive skin. I started to have breakouts around the age of 12. I am very, very blessed. Both of my parents had acne and breakouts when they were younger and scarring, and so they were very conscious that they didn't want me to go through all of the things they went through. So they took me to a dermatologist straight away to talk to me about my skin, teach me about skincare. They got me on the right skincare. They wouldn't allow me to put foundation on. I don't think I put foundation on until like maybe I was 22 because my mom was just like, oh, you have beautiful skin, you don't need it. So I never used it, which was a great tip for a teenager. I went through like typical acne, a lot of breakouts. I never tried Roaccutane, although I did want to. For those of you in the US, that's Accutane. Just, it's a little different in each country, come to find out. But I went through all of the typical teenage angst with really bad acne and did the best that I could. And it was basically acne on top of acne. And actually, the older I got, the worse that it got. So by the time I was in my early to mid 20s, I did have really bad acne. And no one ever believed me, and everyone asks me if they can see before pictures. No, I wasn't going into the skincare industry, so I didn't take a bunch of before pictures. I'm so sorry. I'm supposed to go through all of my mother's old photo albums and find some for you. One day I will make it back to the US and I will do that. But I had really bad skin and I was really self-conscious about it and I was embarrassed about it, and I felt like everyone was always looking at my skin. Like even the mailman would knock on the door with a package and I would feel like, oh, I don't have my makeup on, like I don't want to answer, I don't want him to see me. And I think he was standing there like staring at my pimples the whole time. The poor mailman probably never noticed them. But I know how it feels when you think everyone is staring at your skin. I went to school to be a child therapist, and I went to school at Texas Women's University, and I was in the fast track graduate program and was doing all of the like teaching and the little, you have to do trials basically is the easiest way to explain it before you teach, because you have to teach before you become a child therapist. So I was doing all that, everything was going well, and then I lost someone very close to me. It was very tragic, unexpected, and because of that, it was difficult. So I realized that I could no longer be a child therapist, but I didn't know what I was going to do. So throughout the time that I was in school, in university for this fast track program, I was also a bridal model, so I was traveling in New York and all throughout Texas and even on the West Coast, and I was constantly shooting. So they were constantly putting makeup on my face to hide the breakouts, and then I would have to have facials on a regular basis to, clean my skin out and help it recover from all of that makeup. So I had a facialist who became a good friend because she was seeing me every, 1 to 2 weeks in some months. So I went to her and said, oh, I was just talking to my facial as you do. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I have no empathy. I can't do this job that I've put all of this career into. I'm now in my early 20s, like approaching mid 20s, and I don't know what I'm going to do. So she said, well, why don't you go into skin because you love it? So I thought, oh my gosh, why don't I go into skin? So because I'm slightly mad, and because I had just lost my sister and I was, like seize the day, you only live once, I asked her, well, what's the best skin school, like in your opinion, in like the tri-state area? And she said, actually, it's only about 45 minutes away from here. This is the name of it. There you go. So I Googled, went online, called them, said, when do you have a class starting? They said, oh, in 4 days, or you can wait like 3 to 6 months for this class or this class. And I thought, oh, why not? Why waste any more time? So I said, actually, I'll start the class in 4 days. Can I like pay my down payment over the phone? How does this work? And I showed up for class 4 days later. So it doesn't always work out this well, but for me, luckily it did. I went to school. I loved it. I did go to an incredible school. I learned about chemical peels and microdermabrasion and all the ultrasound. Basically, they had such an amazing, well-rounded course that I was really prepared for my first job. And when I graduated, I immediately was hired into one of the very top spas, medical spas in Texas, and apprenticed and learned everything. Worked in Texas for almost 10 years before I moved to the UK 5.5 years ago now. So I came to the UK for a bit of a sabbatical for like a 3 to 4 month break because I was overwhelmed with patients in Texas. Very blessed, very popular. And I thought the only way I'm gonna get a proper break is to be away from here. So I came to London, honestly, because they spoke English. So I came here, and during that break, I realized I couldn't find the skincare that I wanted. I couldn't find a place to do a facial that I liked or that I felt was effective using proper skincare. And the more I looked into it, the more I was convinced that London really needed more in the skin industry. They had like the European massage and the European facials kind of down pat, but as far as the active ingredients, the medical grade products, that was sadly lacking. So I thought, do you know what? There's an opportunity here for me to do something I love, that I'm passionate about, and actually make a difference in a market that needs it. Because Texas is a very saturated market. So as much as I was popular there and was having a great time, how much more exciting to bring medical grade skincare that actually changes people's skin and changes their lives to an area where people really aren't that switched on about it. So I decided to move here. It took me a little bit. I think I officially moved and had my visa December of 2013, if I'm right. And I did a little bit of freelance work. I approached a company called Cosmetics. If you are my patient, you've heard of it. It's a skincare range. So I approached them because their products are all organic but medically tested, and something called chirally correct, which means they interact the best with the skin. So the skin gets the most out of the product. So I approached them and said, look, I've been using your products for years. I absolutely love them. Are you hiring? Do you need anyone? And they said, we could make a space for someone as a training manager, sales manager position in the south of the UK. So I thought, oh, this is exciting. So I worked with them for a year. From there, I was headhunted by Venus Concept, who create the most incredible radio frequency and IPL devices. So they headhunted me to be their director of clinical training for the UK and Ireland, which was so exciting. So I went to them, and after about a year with them, my lawyers came back and said, actually, we are going to be able to get you another 2-year visa and ultimately citizenship. So I thought, oh, well, this is exciting. And I was starting to miss treating patients. As a trainer, you do get to treat people on a regular basis, but it's not quite the same. So while I was working for Venus, I went into the office of Dr. Michael Prager, who's known as one of the best of Botox in London, if not the world. He is really gifted. So I went into his office to train some of his staff, and I said, look, like, you may need more staff. And he said, yeah, I've bought another location. I'm looking into expanding. So I said, well, if you need anyone, obviously, like, I'm training the best of the best in London, so I can always tell you if anyone's looking. And he said, well, what about you? Those were literally his words to me. So I thought, oh, well, what about me? So I said, well, I tell you what, you go ahead and smooth it over with Venus, and I can be your girl. Like, I can come and I can help you, like, run this new clinic. He said, great, this is all amazing. He had just secured a property. So I went and I worked with him right off of Harley Street on Wimpole Street for about a year. In London, when you have a property, you need to get all of these, like, zoning requests and things fulfilled. So he had a lot of delays on his building. So after about a year with him, you know, he had hired me to run this new clinic. I was approached by another doctor who wanted me to come and help him. And I went to Michael and said, oh, like, you know, this is, so he said, yeah, you know, I might headhunt you back. So I went to Tapan Patel. Dr. Tapan is the owner of Phi Clinic on Harley Street. And he was opening like a 1-year concession in Harrods. So he asked me to come on board and help to start that whole project. The wellness clinic on the 4th floor of Harrods was opening. So I went in to help to launch that project, to build up the clientele, to raise awareness, and to basically expand like my knowledge of the machines that were out there and just work with more machines, because there was a group of us. We had 7 treatment rooms. It was quite a step in the forward direction. So I spent a year there, loved Harrods, like it's a lovely environment to work in, beautiful space. And after a year there, when Tappan's contract had ended and he took a step back, there was the option to go with him on Harley Street or to move in a different direction. So I thought about it and I thought, well, why don't I go somewhere that I can continue to really make a difference rather than just, going into an existing clinic with existing clientele. So I approached Dr. Tracy Mountford. We agreed to do just a little 3-month, almost like a pop-up. And if we felt that it was a good long-term fit, then we could extend it. Or if we felt that either one of us were going in a different direction, we could reduce it and end it at the 3-month period. So we did. At the end of the 3 months, I was so overwhelmingly booked with my own requests and my own clients, and my clients were asking me, like, why don't you open your own place, like more in your side of town, like West London, rather than all the way down here off of Harley Street. So I talked to Dr. Mountford and we both agreed that I was basically moving towards that anyway, that I had so many of my own ideas and my own concepts of what I wanted to do that it was hard to put me into a space with so many other practitioners. So her and I amicably shook hands and I opened my own practice literally a week later. I have an absolutely stunning space in West London in Notting Hill. I have a staff that includes a Brazilian body specialist nurse who does the most incredible lymphatic drainage, just leaves you. I also have a head therapist who is very talented with the skin. She's amazing on not only the face and the chest and the décolleté, but also incredible on the body. So we do a lot of radio frequency treatments on the body. The machine that I love is the Luminous New Era Tight, so if you're curious, you can have a Google. But it is incredible at tightening the skin, reducing cellulite, reducing stretch marks, and also reducing the circumference. So if you feel like your tummy is a little bit puffy and a little bit saggy, maybe a little bit post-mummy tummy, that's something that she does that's absolutely amazing. I, of course, specialize in the face, so that is my area of expertise. I am phenomenal at treating melasma, pigment, scarring, acne, enlarged pores, fine lines and wrinkles, lifting and tightening the skin, and honestly, the thing I'm most well known for is giving you your glow back. So I make your skin positively glow to the point that you feel confident walking out of the door with no makeup on. That is what absolutely makes me passionate about doing this. And remember, I've been there. Like, I didn't want to answer the door to the postman, okay? And now I rarely wear makeup. It's like if a client comes in and sees me with makeup on, they ask, oh, were you filming today? So that will probably happen later today. But it's absolutely a passion of mine to give you the best skin that you can possibly have in as few treatments as possible. I do not require my patients to come in every 4 weeks once we've gotten their skin goals met. So it's like we may take 3 to 6 treatments every 4 weeks to get your skin perfect, and then you're coming in to see me every 3 months, every 6 months, just to maintain your goal. So that is my ethos, that is how I work, and those are the type of treatments that I do. So if you're looking to come in and have a treatment with us, it's reneelapino.com to go to the website and book in. You can also email info@reneelapino.com. Or if you're curious to see some of my other pictures and maybe learn more about what we do, you can also check us out on Instagram, which is @Renée Lapino. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope that I answered some of the questions that so many people have about how an American ended up in London doing skin. If you have any more questions, please shoot them on over, and please also subscribe so that you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. I'm going to be covering skin tips, health tips, supplements, dietary tips, as well as treatments that either I do or people I recommend do, as well as products that we use in the treatments and at home. And I will also be featuring different guests from around London and abroad who specialize in making people glow. Have a great day.